Yes, I'm doing another opening where I'm starting on my face. People said that I shouldn't do an intro whenever I'm not at the right angle. Well, people said you shouldn't start all your videos with just you on your face or whatever. You should do it, do some transitions and stuff. I'm working on transitions. I haven't got everything done yet, people. I'm doing my best here. I still got to edit a lot of my videos together. I haven't really edited any of mine until recently. Really, only one of mine. Excuse me. Till recently. So if they're not edited right away, then don't worry about it. They're in the process. They're in the process of looking better. So that's what's going on. All right. Anyway, I've wasted most of my day today just watching YouTube vids, stuff like that, wasting time, not really doing anything in particular. And it has been a waste. But I have found out about some YouTubers and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. And some different, I've watched different styles of stuff that people do and familiarized myself with them. So I've done, I don't know, I guess that's an accomplishment. I don't really know. I don't want to play Candy Crush Saga, really. I don't know why I clicked on this. This is not really what I want to do. I just clicked on that because it was on my screen or whatever. I like to accept my stuff. I like to accept my, sometimes people send me requests for games, and I'll play the little crime scene game on here. That's really the only one I play that I like. I mean, I haven't really played any of the other ones, so I can't really tell. I think it's called crime. Is it called crime scene? Criminal Case. I play Criminal Case, but I don't really. That's really the only one I play that I kind of like. But anyway, welcome to Allgood Reviews, Season 4. I'm doing these videos a little bit earlier so I can kind of stay up with my seasons and stuff online. So I'm doing my new videos for next season, which aren't technically in the area. I'm still on the stupid Candy Crush screen. All right, let's go back to Facebook. Let's go back to Facebook. Get me off of Candy Crush. I don't want to hear that music in my background. No. All right, so I'm back. Trying to get some people to go to my Quotapalooza, which is next month. Not next month, which is in November. So about a month from now. You guys, I don't really know. It's early November, I think, is when I scheduled it. So it's probably about a month and a couple days. So you guys got plenty of time to figure out whether you are going to be able to come to Quotapalooza or not. I would really like more people to come. I've had a few past games where people have really showed up and have really guessed. And I usually get about 6 or 7 people that usually play, so not a ton, but I get a good amount of friends on there, I get enough friends so we can have an actual kind of game going. I think I've gotten 10 people or so playing at once, depending on, which isn't a ton, but everybody's busy right now. I'm not working, so I have plenty of time, but the people that are working, they can't always come. Damn work. Just gotta get freaking rich off YouTube. I wouldn't have to work. I could work that way. But anyway, today's movie is Vacation. The new Vacation. No. Who is that, you say? It's not Clark fucking Griswold. No. It's Clark's son. Clark's son. Played by Ed Helms. His wife is played by Christina Applegate. And it's co-starring Leslie Mann, Beverly D'Angelo, and Chevy Chase, I don't think I said Beverly D'Angelo. I said Christina. So I keep getting these job things keep notifying me. I shouldn't have signed up for job alerts on here. I don't know why. That was a mistake. But I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm gonna get them to stop sending me stuff because I get calls from those job alert things all day long, and it's like, oh yeah, we have a job for you, but they're not all legit jobs. Some of them are actual, nothing I'd be interested in on a lot of them. But anyway, we're going to review the remake / sequel to Vacation, the long awaited sequel remake. It had been talked about for a long time. As you know, let's go into a little backstory of Vacation for a little bit. So this review may be a little longer than my other one, so bear with me. So anyway, we had the first original Vacation, which was originally called Vacation 57, written by John Hughes, directed by the late Harold Ramis, who is no longer with us. Probably one of his better films, actually, one of his funnier films. And a very early one for John Hughes as well. He didn't direct it. This is before John Hughes actually started directing. Basically about a family led by a husband who is in a food additives division of a corporation, who decides one summer to send his family to Wally World, and the disastrous trip that follows from his point in California, or his point in, his point A to Chicago to point B in California, and their horrible trip that ensues, and just kind of hijinks that kind of happen along the way. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen the original Vacation, but if you've never seen the original 1983 film Vacation, directed by Harold Ramis, please check it out. It's a very funny film. It's rated R. It's got language. It's got a little bit of sexuality, not a ton, but a little bit of language kind of sprinkled throughout. Not real bad, but and a couple of kind of innuendos and things like that. So we get the first Vacation, which is a really good film. Check it out. If you've only watched this movie, you're missing out, because the first Vacation is really the best one out of all of them. And then we got 2 years later, in 1985, we had the European Vacation, directed by Amir Heckerling, written by John Hughes and Robert Klein. Robert Klein actually wrote the films Weekend at Bernie's, Where's Papa, Folks, and a couple of other films among the years. So he writes mostly kind of like dark comedies and kind of stuff like that, kind of black humor kind of things. So he teamed with them on the sequel in '85, and not as good as the original Vacation, but it still has its moments. It still has some kind of funny scenes and stuff like that. I don't think it was successful theatrically either. I mean, as successful. I think it was successful, just not as successful as the original in '83. And then we skip ahead 4 years later to '89. I believe it was in the winter. Excuse me, the winter of 1989. It came out. I don't remember exactly what day. They keep having all these anniversaries and stuff on Facebook and stuff, and they're all just people talking about, oh yeah, well, the something anniversary has come up for that movie, or the something is. So they're always like updating me, so I'm like, if I ever wonder how old that movie is now, I can always say, oh yeah, well, Facebook will tell me tomorrow, so I'll know. But anyway, 4 years later, we get National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, directed by Jeremiah Chisiak, I think. I don't exactly know how to say his name. Raji's kind of joined the video. What are you doing, Raji? Get over here. Get over here. You drinking into water in there? Yeah. He said, I'd like to bomb your videos before and attack your keyboard, but I decided not to do that anymore. But anyway, the Griswolds finally decide to stay home for a change, and are invaded by a bunch of bickering, bitching, obnoxious relatives. And in the first film, I forgot to mention this. In the first original film, Randy Quaid played Clark's, Chevy Chase's cousin Eddie, who they had to make a stop to or whatever to pick up, to visit or whatever along the way. And they end up, in the original, spoiler alert, they end up picking up Aunt Edna. And I'm not going to give it away, but there's a disastrous thing that happens to Aunt Edna along the way of the trip with the Griswolds. So we get, in the first one, Randy Quaid plays his cousin. He's not in the second one, but he comes back in part 3, and he's the same character in part 3. He's just an obnoxious kind of bum kind of guy. He can't keep a job. Is real country, real kind of like a redneck country type. always burping, just kind of always being gross. And they drive up in part three. They kind of come for a visit or whatever and visit Chevy's house as his. Three is more about part three is more kind of about them kind of trying to survive the holidays with all the bickering relatives and stuff like that. And Clark's kind of worried about stuff with his job. He's supposed to be getting a big raise, spoiler alert, and he doesn't really know whether he's going to get it or not. I'm sure if I'm reviewing this movie, I hope to God you guys have actually seen the original Vacation movies. Because if this is the first one that you check out, no offense, but you're really missing out on the Vacation saga. I mean, you really are. So anyway, that's kind of about them surviving that. 97 comes around, so it's been, what, 8 years, like 7, 8 years since the last one. And we take a little bit of dip in quality in the Vacation movies. We have Vegas Vacation. Not National Lampoon's Vacation, but Vegas Vacation. Definitely a step down in the Vacation saga. So we get Vacation 4, which is about the Griswolds going to... And you know what? I'm going to have to find out what actually happened. Let's look up Vegas, because I don't remember the writers or anything on that one. Now, that was the first non-John Hughes one, the one that he did not have anything to do with, except for the original story and the characters and stuff. So we get Vegas Vacation in 97. It's the fourth Griswold outing for the Vacation series. And let's see. It has some funny parts. It's just not as good as the other ones. Shut up. Stephen Kessler, writers Elizabeth and Bob Doxey. So we get the Griswolds, and they plan a trip to Vegas. And Cousin Eddie is back, which is one of the few good things about this movie. Randy Quaid makes another reappearance, so he's in 3 of the main Vacation movies, not the remake. Ethan Embry this time plays Rusty Griswold, and Marisol Nichols plays Audrey. Also back is Miriam Flynn, who also played his wife, Randy Quaid's wife, Catherine, in the first, the third, and this entry in the series. So they go on vacation, and they go to Vegas, and they have various things, some funny, not so funny, that happen in Vegas. Clark becomes addicted to gambling, spoiler alert. Ellen, Clark's wife, gets addicted to, like, Wayne Newton. Rusty decides to kind of, like, just scam the casino and wins all this money or whatever, and illegally, and he doesn't know what to do with it. And Audrey's kind of goes and hangs out with her not so good influence cousin, which is one of Randy Quaid's grown-up children in this one. So there's shenanigans going on, plenty of shenanigans, lots of shenanigans. No, just they're not as funny because they're not written by John Hughes, and John Hughes could write a good Vacation script. I will give you that. John Hughes is no longer alive. He died in 2000. I believe it was 2010, but I'm not positive. I think he was about 60 years old when he died, so he wasn't even that old. He wasn't as old as I thought he was, because he hadn't made movies for a while. He kind of stopped making movies in 91 and did a couple scripts after that, but he didn't really direct or anything after that. 91 was the last year he directed movies, with Career Opportunities and Curly Sue being among the last ones that he actually wrote and directed. So we're up to speed now. We're up to Vacation, the new edition. From 2015. Seems like an older movie than that. I mean, it seems it's new, but... And this is kind of a scant edition on special features. There's not really any special features on this. There's deleted scenes, and you don't get anything else. I believe on the Blu-ray, you get a couple more special edition, or special features, excuse me. A couple more special features. Not a ton, but I believe you get like maybe like a making of and a retrospective, and maybe like some interviews or something. I don't exactly remember what it was, but you get a good. My cat's attacking a twist tie. But you get a good. I think you get a little bit more than you get on the DVD. This is just the DVD version of the film. That's the boring insert. And I want to tell you, I did not want to like this movie. I was kind of like, I kind of had one of those things kind of with the new Ghostbusters that came out. I kind of wanted to see it, but at the same time, I didn't, because I didn't know if it was going to ruin the franchise. This one didn't exactly ruin the franchise, but it didn't add a whole lot of grace to the franchise. I mean, it kind of was an okay entry, but it wasn't as funny as it could have been. So they're back. The Griswolds. There's Rusty, played by Ed Helms. He's all grown up, and Rusty has a family of his own, and he decides to, spoiler alert, take his kids to Wally World, because he was like, oh yeah, the best times we had were at Wally World, even though in the original movie there was a whole lot of crap going on by the time they got to Wally World, along with the SWAT team, which I will not give that away. I kind of already did, but I won't tell you what happens with it. But anyway, Ed Helms, Christina Applegate from Married with Children, Leslie Mann with Chris Hemsworth as Stone Crandall. Says, buckle up, it's going to be a wild ride. I hate all these things on the back, it's so annoying. The next generation of Griswolds is on the road again for another hilarious, ill-fated family adventure. You can say that again. Following in his foster family's footsteps and father's footsteps, a grown-up Rusty Griswold, Ed Helms, the Hangover film, surprises his wife, Debbie, Christina Applegate, the Anchorman films, and their two sons with a cross-country road trip back to America's favorite family fun park, Wally World. What could go wrong? Everything. I should have put that on the back. Everything could go wrong with the freaking Griswolds. Written and directed by Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly. Rated R for sex humor, content, language throughout, and brief graphic nudity. Now, this movie has a lot of language in it, so if you don't like language, you're probably not going to enjoy this entry of the Vacation series. Although, most of the Vacation entries kind of have like scatological, here you go, kind of have scatological, sexual, and crude humor. This one's a little more kind of geared toward the generation that we're in now, which is more gross-out humor. Kind of, there's a little bit more, well, I don't know. It's probably more, I would say it's probably a little bit more gross humor than sexual humor. There's a little bit of sexual humor in it, but not as much as you would think. It's more kind of gross stuff that happens to him. Some of the gross stuff is funny, some of it is just nasty. I found a couple of the scenes kind of funny, just with some of the stuff that happened. Anyway, the Griswolds, they plan another trip. The annoying thing about this one, and basically they're going to Wally World, and it's kind of a reimagining of the original, basically. So that's pretty much the plot of it. Chris Hemsworth, if I'm saying his name right, pretty much nails the movie though, as he plays the kind of dumb cousin or whatever. What is it? Stone Crandall. He plays their his odd. Well, his it's Rusty's brother-in-law basically, and he's plays a pretty. His part's pretty funny. He's just kind of plays this brain dead kind of cousin or whatever, or brother-in-law or whatever of Rusty's, and he's kind of funny. Like some of his scenes are kind of humorous. I wanted to say too, I wanted to bring this point up. I did not like this little kid in it very much. The younger brother, I think it was one of them. I think it was Kevin. I think he plays the younger one, but I'm not positive. Well, I already pulled that off there. Damn it! I was gonna look it up on there. But the younger brother, I didn't care for him that much. I kind of liked the older one a little better. He was a little more kind of relatable and kind of nice, and the younger brother was kind of the douchebag in this one. It's usually the other way around. The younger one's not so bad, and the older one's kind of a dick. But this one was more kind of like, some of the lines were like, that the younger one said. You're like, the dad seemed like Rusty seemed like he would have backhanded that kid if he said something like that. But he kind of finally gets his spoiler alert. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! I say that every 5 seconds. I'm just gonna start putting that at the beginning of my videos so you guys know what I'm. That I may be divulging some information about videos. They're not all gonna be freaking spotty clean. But anyway, so the younger kid, older kid, the younger one kind of gets his just desserts though. The older one kind of decides to stand up to himself with this little twerp. I don't know why he's so scared of his younger brother. That was a stupid thing to me about the movie. I was like, the younger kid, you know, he meets up with this girl that he likes, and the younger kid's like, oh yeah, why don't you something make out with her or whatever, kind of like testing him or whatever. And she was like, God, your little brother's a little douche. And I'm like, yeah, why are you not kicking the living crap out of your little brother if he's freaking talking to you like that? Like all other siblings. I mean, why is the little brother like suddenly the threat in this? I don't know. That was kind of dumb to me. Some of the scenes are pretty funny though. They kind of go a little bit overboard with some of the jokes and stuff like that. But overall, it kind of has like a certain charm to it. Like it kind of does kind of its own thing. It kind of makes some stabs at the original, but it feels like kind of its own movie too. It kind of feels like it's kind of like, you know, kind of wants to do its own thing. There's a funny scene too with Charlie Day, who plays like a raft tour guide or whatever, that gets ready to bring him on a trip, and then his girlfriend breaks up with him or whatever, and he gets real depressed, and he just kind of loses it while they're going down the river, and it gets real wild, and he's so depressed that he like tries to basically drown himself as they're going on the thing, and they're like, what are you doing? And they're, you know, like shaking him like, get us out of this or whatever. And that's kind of a funny scene. And there's kind of a funny scene at Wally World. I won't give it away, but kind of like with another family that they kind of have a thing against, that kind of, you know, kind of disrespects Rusty. So they kind of have a little family brawl, which is kind of funny. There's some good scenes in it. Overall, I just think it could have been a better movie. It's, you know, you watch it, and it's one of those ones that I might have to give it a rewatch, because I only watched it one time. Me and my brother watched it. Me and my brother Jeff watched it, and it was good. I mean, I liked it okay. We were kind of like watching it at the beginning, and we were like, I don't know about this movie. This kind of sucks. And then we kind of got into it a little more as it went along. So it's kind of one of those movies that kind of starts out a little bit like, I don't really know where this is going. But give it a chance, because it's got some good stuff in it, I think. Now, final verdict, I would say. Sorry, I had to move my thing. I got tired of sitting in that area. It kind of gets old after a while. I gotta move around in my videos. So sorry, this video is a little bit longer. I might have to edit it down a little bit. It's a little longer just because I kind of gave a brief history on the other movies. If it was just this movie, if it was just this entry in the series, I pretty much call it an entry. It's a vacation movie. Whether it's a remake or not, it's a freaking vacation movie. Come on, it's even got Clark in it. It's got Chevy Chase in it. It's a vacation movie. Whether you want to admit it or not, it is. So let's give it my final verdict. We got one-time watch, multiple viewings, or rough sledding. No, I gotta get close to the camera when I do that. So, one-time watch. That means that you can give a one-time watch. It's only worth watching one time, and then after that, you can kind of forget about it. Multiple viewings. You can give it a couple viewings every once in a while, or you might watch it, occasionally. Rough sledding, not recommended. I wouldn't recommend the movie to watch. It's not one of those I would recommend, and you're not going to have a very fun time watching it. So, final verdict, I would say one-time watch. And then after that, whether you want to give it multiple viewings or not is up to you. But I think it's at least worth a one-time watch to kind of judge for yourself kind of what you think about it. And like I said, after that, if you want to watch it, that is up to you. Again, that's the cover for it. If you guys want to check it out online or on Amazon or anything. That's the little side art. What are you doing over there, Key? You better not be going bathroom. And that's the back of it. So, not a bad movie. I think if you're a vacation fan, you should at least check it out. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? You don't like it, at least you'll know You watch it once, you don't like it, you don't have to rent it again, or you don't have to watch it again. And if you can find it for a cheap price, buy it. And if you don't watch it, trade it back in, or you could always sell it. I sell a lot of my movies that I don't, and you know, some of them that I don't keep everything that I have. There's some like this one right here on my last review. I'm going to end up trading that one in because I didn't like it very much. But anyway, this has been All Good Reviews. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, Media Masters, where you guys can watch pretty much all my vids. I've got a good amount of vids on there, probably about 70 or so now. I've got a lot of content on there, so there's a lot of new stuff. I'm thinking about doing some new venues, gaming, maybe gaming or cooking, or just kind of some different stuff other than just reviews and technology and Matt the Tech guys and stuff like that. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. More videos coming up. This is All Good Reviews Season 4, and we'll have more episodes coming up soon. This is Matt Allgood. You guys take care. God bless.